Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to all our friends, viewers, stakeholders, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West. Yes, we're here again. Yes, we're doing things a little differently today. I was just on a couple of minutes ago, and we're back with another group of people talking about a different, not so different, but yes, a little bit a different angle of the conversation we had earlier on with Reverend Stephen. So please, as you join the broadcast, share, 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 invite your friends, send in your questions and comments, and let us know your thoughts. Okay. If you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to all our channels, please do so. It's Africa Rice TV on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I have some of my sisters waiting in the wings. The topic was something that was brought about by a brother's opinion of how things should be. I have this wonderful brother that I like very much. His name is Dr. Chido. He's going to be here in a moment. And he made a video, and the video was quite infuriating for me as a woman who lives in the diaspora. But of course, I love him so much that I didn't want to have a fight. And I thought we should have a conversation on this issue, which is he made a video advising that African men who marry women from Africa should leave the women behind to save their marriage. And I just couldn't get it. I couldn't understand it. Okay. Because he will come here and give a little more detail as to the reason why he said so, and we'll carry the conversation from there. But before we carry on, I'm going to bring one by one to the screen. I've got a beautiful sister from Brazil, Elda. Elda, please do well to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy Sunday and a happy end of Sunday to all of us. Yeah, my name is Elda Cardoso. I'm originally from Brazil. I describe myself as a Black indigenous woman. I know that channel when Susan is from Nigeria, and I just told her before, I am also one of the descendants of Nigerian people living in diaspora. I'm based in London, but I'm from Brazil originally. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, pretty elder. I see Dr. Chido is there. He's the one who started the trouble. So let me bring him up and let's let him introduce himself. Dr. Chido.
Hello, Suzanne.
Dr. Chido, my brother, I love very much, but I was about to have a fight with. So, Dr. Chido, please introduce yourself really quickly and I'll bring our other guests up.
Okay, my name is Dr. Chido Agunabo Ajora.
Is that all?
And I work with the NGO Hungry and Angry.
All right. I'm going to bring a sister on. There are more people coming. I have another sister, Diane Medway Smith. Sister Diane, please.
Hi. Thank you for having me, Susan, as always. Yeah, my name is Diane Medway Smith. I'm originally from Nigeria, as you can hear from my accent. I'm a survivor of narcissistic abuse. So I run a channel, Diane's TV, Auntie Diane on TikTok, and Diane Medway Smith on Instagram, talking about narcissism. So Susan has invited me. Anything relationship, I'm here. Nice meeting you all.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you, Sister Diane.
Thank you.
Dr. Chido, you have to put your camera in a way that we can see your face.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to
capture everyone's face. Yours is a little. Yes, there's someone else here. Let's see who that is. Okay, let's see who this is. I'll bring the person up shortly once I can see their face. So, but we don't want to take this conversation beyond 1 hour if we can. I know that's almost not possible, but we will try to stay within the hour. Dr. Chido, you started the conversation. I want you to say to the viewers exactly what your video was about, and then we'll take the conversation from there.
Okay, basically, the video was all about my experience as a person, and then based on interactions with other people, and what I've seen just living in the diaspora, being in the diaspora, spending a lot of time. I've really looked into, the family life of Black people, especially Africans, who come over from Africa to settle in Europe. And,
Dr. Chido, we're
actually,
seeing half of your face. Can you
oh,
please?
okay. So I'm a little bit old school with gadgets, Susan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, based on my experience, I made that video. And, what I was trying to say is this. I was trying to say that women in Nigerian women who come to Europe have developed this mindset of, thinking that the man becomes a wealth to rip off somewhere along the line. And I have friends who married, brought their wives over from Nigeria, and after a few years, they've lost everything. They've even lost their children to the wife, and in most cases, another man comes over and take over the children. In fact, I have a personal experience with a friend who came one day to me and was crying. And when I seek to know why he was crying, he said to me he just been chocked by his wife's new boyfriend. So he couldn't even enter the home. And the man was sitting on his sofa. So, just going into his mind, I felt what he was going through. But this is like it's become a standard thing amongst African if you really pay attention to that. So it was actually based on my experience that I made that video. But I do agree, that it happens in the other side. There are also women who are victim of such thing, but I think it's more prevalent with men.
Well, when you made your introduction, I felt like you were a bit also defensive because that's not exactly the way you put it in your video. In your video, you were categorically clear and stating the fact that this is the best thing for Black men to do, which is marry the women, leave them back at home in Africa, and come back and stay in Europe and work and send back money to them. Okay. And your
Yeah,
reason is because when these women come here, they find their voices, they become wiser, they are aware of who they are and the environment where they find themselves. And so in that video you made, what I took away is the fact that you were comfortable as long as the women remained subservient. Okay, a subservient woman was what was attainable for there to be a happy marriage, as far as she's being brought all the way back from anywhere in Africa. Because
not quite.
if you had said you can understand, if you gave a balanced opinion on that video, we would not be having this conversation today.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of us know that this is something that should be an individual thing, experience, because there are women who will tell you that men bring them from back home and then turn them to slaves and house helps, force them to go into taking on jobs just to make sure that they are paying the rent or the mortgage and taking care of everything in the household while the man sits down, crosses his leg, and feels like a king. Elder, do you want to go first?
I can, if it's okay, or if you want the other sister to go first.
No worries, just go ahead.
Okay, yes. I need to be honest. When I first watched the video, I was quite in shock. Because I think was how can I describe of not being very offended to Chido. I always say the video it made as women, especially Nigerian women, because he was talking about Nigeria mainly. Being completely the video is it's very disrespectful towards women. Let's put that way. Especially towards my Nigerian sisters. And I watched the video, I think, 2 times. and there is no one part on the video where you say that situation happened elsewhere, or that's not the case of every woman. There is situation happening as well with woman. There was nothing like that on the video. The video is point blank. Is simple. Is say Nigerian woman, if they come from Nigeria to live in Europe, they change completely. They no longer respect their husband. They will leave the home. They will take the kids. They will destroy the man. And the best way to deal with that is to make sure those women stay back home, where they are controlled, where they don't have their voice heard, where they have no rights, and then they will abide by you. They will do what you want. They will be a good housewives. And then you'll bring them here sometimes for holiday. And then when the kids growing up, you bring the kids here to study and live here. I found that so shocking. I found that so terrible. It was, for me, was like I could not comprehend why is that. I understand there is some men relationship, it doesn't go well, and that is all over the world. That it is in every single different nation, traditions, and so on, beliefs, and on and on. Also, it happen with women as well. Men, women from Africa and from other parts of the world come to Europe after they bring their partners. Many of the men they come here on the visa of the wives because they come here to work. And the situation is similar. And when you arrive here, they'll go for another younger woman, or they go for a white woman, and they're going to let the wives with the kids alone. So this happen everywhere. To say only about one group of people, one group of women, I found that very disrespectful. I think it's no fair on none of us. It's no fair on those group of women. I think that video we attack women, and also for the point of view of the relationship, I think is disrespectful in the sense that is not the reality of every single relationship. There is many different relationship between African people, between African men and women, black women in the diasporas, between black and white, and so on, and also between different African nations. So I don't think that video is the reality of the entire country, the reality of the entire nation, or especially the reality of black women whatsoever.
Absolutely well said. One of the things I was thinking about was I'm not sure that Dr. Chido understood the power of the video that he released and how it will impact on lives of women back home or relationships, where people are probably planning on, moving or relocating to join their partner, and having him put out such a video. The video was so one-sided because, of course, I
Exactly.
understand that these are things that happen, and it can happen to a woman, it can happen to a man. However, if you look at the ratio of this sort of scenario, you find out that there are more women who are brought in by their men just so that they can work and do the dirty jobs that the men don't want to do, so that the men can sit, cross their legs, and have the woman and pay the bills, because that's the only reason most of them go back home, even though there are so many other women here in the diaspora they could have been married to. Sister Diane, do you want to go?
Yeah, I wish I'd seen that video, but the little I know from what you people are saying, bringing women here. Sometimes I do talk about things like that. That we that live in the diaspora, there's a lot of single women, including me, that live in the diaspora. But an African man would see me, look at me like somebody that is so overly wise, uh, um, that they cannot control. This sort of a thing is boiled. It boils down to control. Like our fathers. Like in the olden days, like my dad's era, my mom's era. Women are second class. Okay, women are second class, and the man is the boss. So the man have rights. not to listen to his woman because she's a woman, not to, he just wants to use her like a tool, like a slave basically. But times are changing. The times are changing. Social media has helped us a lot. We are out of the analog era. We are now in the digital era. So women are seeing and women are being wise this time, like sometimes families back home. Let me use my cousin as an example. My cousin lives here in the diaspora, and he went home to get married to a very, he's same age as me. I only just turned 56, and he's same age as me. And when he was going home to get married, so I said, why don't you marry here? And this girl you're going to get married back home, she's only 25. He didn't only lie about his age, he lied about his age to her, right? Then he married her without telling me and not listening to the whole family. He didn't, and he brought her here. And when she got here, she was already pregnant. He made sure that she was pregnant before he brings her here. And he brought her here and he started beating her up with the pregnancy. Okay. And I don't know this girl. I've not seen her. Even though I asked him, I said, when am I going to see my sister-in-law? You've married her. I didn't tell you that I'm going to get married because I know you discourage me. That's what he told me. Okay. Cut long story short, she came, visited me, my daughter, and my ex at the time, and all that. And this girl, when she saw me, she just burst out crying. She just burst out crying, saying that my cousin is maltreating her. He's going to other women with her knowing, and all that, talking about women in front of her and all that. Okay. Now, this girl, she couldn't take it anymore. He beat her up, like even her ankle got broken, right? And she called somebody, then they had to call the ambulance, and they took her to the hospital where my cousin works. My cousin would have been behind bars if not for me. I was so angry until today. This has happened like 4 years ago. It's happened, and he's not been talking to me. I said, it doesn't mean because you're my cousin, I will see what you're doing to support you for the bad you're doing. I'm a woman as well. So anyway, where I'm coming from is this. Most of our men, they are just, it's my, in our dad's days and our or the analog era, most of our men bring women here and change and use them. And when these women go out to work in a working place and interacting with other people, and they find out that they have rights. So when they exercise that right at home, the man will say, oh, I've brought you to overseas now. I've brought you to England. I've brought you to America. Now you're not respecting me. Relationship is all about, is teamwork. You respect me and I'll respect you. But our black brothers, I don't want to stereotype, but our black brothers, they would go, they still act like their fathers. Like their fathers. Like me, my dad put me off black men. My dad was the one that put me off black men because of the way he treated my mother. So our black brothers that are here, they are going home to get married. It's all about control. Times have changed. Woman, man, we are equal. Marriage should be equal. Marriage, you should listen to one another. We all have flaws. And if you love somebody, you love them with their flaws. Not to be like telling them, oh, you should do this, you should cook for me. Some men in the diaspora will ask their wives that they've brought from Africa to study nursing, and they are not working. These women, they abuse. These women, they will pay them salary. The money goes into their husband's bank account. I know of a lot of women, because of what I do, women contact me. But you know, our brothers, our black brothers, they still look at us as second class. You know, that's where the problem is coming. If I cannot talk to you as a partner, as my friend, as my lover, as my brother, and every time I open my mouth and talk, you tell me, don't you respect me? I'm not your child, I am your partner. You know, they don't want to marry me because they know I know my rights. That is why most marriages that they are bringing from Africa, that is why it does not last. If I go out to work and I see my colleague, they are happy in their marriage, I know the rules of the country. Then when I come home and I talk to my husband and all that, oh, you're not respecting me. That is a barbaric act, if you must ask me. So somebody else can talk.
Thank you so much. You said it more than I could ever say with even the examples you've given. Starman, do you want to come in here or do you want to come in
Yeah.
here?
Hi. I didn't see the video. Um, but I guess maybe I'll come in later when I get a more general gist of
Right.
what's going
So
on.
let me go to Reverend Stephen. This is why I was so excited to have Reverend Stephen here. He's a man, but he's a man that understands what women want in this dispensation, this generation. So, having heard the Sister Diane talk about her experience and what she can attest to. And having heard what Dr. Chido, well, you didn't see the video, but let me bring you up to speed. Dr. Chido is the one drinking water there. He's my very good brother. Dr. Chido put out a video, and then the video he was advising that Nigerian men or African men who live in the diaspora, that when they go back home and get married, they should leave the wives there that they marry and come back to Europe or America, work and send back money. Because if they bring these women here, these women become wise. They stop being subservient, and the marriage ends in literal terms. Okay, I found that very offensive because I didn't. I thought that Dr. Chido, he's a media person as well, will understand the impact of the sort of message he sent out there and the damage it can do to a woman's life. Because we know the story on the other side that is more prevalent than even what he's talking about. In most cases, none of these women come and say, I found someone better, I'm no longer in love with you. It's always a situation where the woman is absolutely worn out and then comes to that place of realization like, this is not Nigeria. I have a voice here. The system supports me. Okay. I'm a human being. I'm not just, a woman, someone there to be a wife, a sex mate, a cleaner, a cook, and all of these things that most women are back home to their husbands. Okay. So, Reverend Stephen.
Okay. I greet everyone first of all, and what the doctor said, I didn't see the video actually, is not new to me. Yes, it's not new to me. It has been a random discussion in the social media that even the men in diaspora are the ones championing it. So it's just that the doctor's voice was the one heard because he came out and pointed out. But it is not a new thing to me. I've been hearing it often, but no hard feelings. Don't take it too hard. Let's just shift a little from this thing and look into it properly. Talk about it like humans. If I'm a woman, if doctor is a woman, found himself in that kind of shoe, let's talk about that. It's not being defensive. What we are talking about, let's make it, you know, tangible, like if it is you. One of those things, I am one of the people or one of the persons that is totally against somebody coming from in diaspora marrying a woman he barely knows. Marrying a woman he barely knows and take her than to abroad, no relationship. You guys are not friends. This girl did not have any opportunity to study who is this guy. You know, who is this guy? What are his motives, temperaments? You know, okay, taking me abroad, what is your plan? There was no discussion. You know, he just took off. And you know that due to the condition of the country, the news I'm going abroad is palatable. So women do not sit down to process what am I going there to do. And most of those ladies are not well educated. You cannot tell a banker like that here. You can't tell a banker. You cannot tell a lawyer. You can. The people they come to handpicked are those people they know. Sit down, they will sit down. Stand, they will stand. So now that's why I said, let us not take it hard. Let us just say, what is this problem all about? You know? And for those who are listening to us, will be educated. If you're a man, you will tell your sister. If you're a sister, you know you have information and you tell your own sister what is awaiting for you in case such things happens. You see, women are not commodities, if you ask me. They are not properties. You know, they are not things that you pick and drop at will. Because apart from talking about it socially, there is also a God that looks at men and judge them accordingly. You understand? So I am against a man coming back enticing, because that is there is an enticement. They entice the girl with high hopes and promises not real, just to get her pulled. And the man did not know that you're in trouble, even because you have raised high hopes for your in-laws. My daughter is abroad, and they are expecting you to come back and build houses for them. Now, what I'm trying to learn before I give way, because I might not be talking much, I'll be coming interview. Now, look, let me tell you, the men doing this are doing it for a reason. And that reason is that they want to be king in.
I think he's frozen.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Hello, sister. Introduce yourself, please. He's gonna go out and rejoin us. Yeah. Can we meet you?
Sally, I think she's
Sally, yeah.
referring to you. Sally.
Sally, can you hear us? I don't think she can.
No, I don't think she can hear us.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes,
yeah.
you can now.
Yeah, but it's outside the net.
Or bad network.
Is she from Nigeria?
I don't think she's in Nigeria, even if she is from. I don't think she
Okay,
is
she's not in Nigeria. Okay.
Yeah. Starman Alpha, is this your forte or not? Say something.
Well, I don't really I mean, I see a lot of the gender wars going on social media, but I'm not really at the forefront of tackling that because I believe there's a more fundamental issue that Black people as a whole need to deal with to even begin to tackle all their problems, including what we're talking about largely. Um, yes, yeah. I mean, there's a history of men going back to Nigeria to go and get wives, and yeah, we also hear, some of the bad stories, like, and even the bad stories. I mean, the thing is, this thing cuts both ways because it's not really, it's not really an organic arrangement most of the time. So you hear both sides of the story. You hear, oh, he brought her abroad and she just changed and became someone else. And you also hear he brought her abroad and uh, and thought he brought a house help or slave. And recently, you start also hearing about women bringing guys from Nigeria as well, and all sorts of things. So I mean, if you start untangling all this, we could be here for hours. So this is why I said, I prefer to tackle a more root cause issue, which is the fact, first of all, when are Africans going to start seeing that it's a problem, that every solution is to run out of Nigeria or Africa? You run out there, you run into a different culture, a toxic culture at that. You can't cope, and then you start looking for solution from home. And then you bring whoever you bring into a toxic culture, and you think it's going to be okay. Instead of going back or doing the fundamental thing Africans should do, which is change the fundamental structure that's still holding us all prisoners of war today. Until we do this, we're just pacing about in the wind. And on doing this, we must all decolonize our minds. We must all stop harboring foreign ideologies, all these foreign isms we carry about in our heads that our forefathers had nothing to do with. Someone from another land just came, pointed a gun at you and said, right, you must practice Christianism, Islamism, materialism, feminism, every ism. We practice every ism but Africanism. So, like I said, I'm not at the forefront of, because this him her wars, especially in the diaspora and in social media, it's been going on for years, and the arguments go on for days. And like I said, for me, it's an issue, but it's not the root cause. Like I said, until we sort out the problem of the structure we live our lives under as Africans, the structure that's causing all of us, oh, I'm tired of this country, and then you start running to the West into a toxic culture. Until we sort out that, I mean, what? So what's the solution? All of us are going to run to the West, then bring whoever else to the West. What is that? The solution?
We're not looking for solution. We're deliberating. There's no solution. We're deliberating. We're creating an awareness that this kind of thing does happen. Why our men would go to Africa and bring women and turn them as slaves. Like, what's his name in the middle? Our brother here was saying, he spoke really well, that these things, we cannot tackle everything and everything, but this thing does exist. And to create the awareness, men going, I held on TikTok, I did exactly the same thing, that why is our men, why wouldn't they marry me? Come and marry Diane. We live here together. Why wouldn't they marry me? Then they go home to marry somebody that they want to turn as a commodity, as a tool, as a slave that they would use as they like. Because our forefathers, that is the way they lived. My mom did not have a say. My mom did not have a say. My dad put me off marrying my race because I couldn't. So you think that children are not seeing toxicity? They do. They see it. I was young, seeing the way my dad was bringing women into the house. My mom would cook. My mom would cook and give to his mistresses. So now our brothers have seen this kind of, attitude, which they've learned from the forefathers, and they want to come and do it here. But here, fortunately for women in the diaspora, the justice system does work here. That is why they can't do anything. They will start. It's like a narcissistic smear campaign where you are the abuser. Then you go outside and start telling people that, oh, look at what Diane is doing. Diane is going mental, and I'm telling Diane to go to what they call it, to go and see a psychiatrist. She refused because now they are running away. They project everything back onto you.
Okay,
Right?
Diane, listen. Diane, listen. We got people there. We got few people there, so we need everyone to really contribute in this, issue. Four other guys are coming, so we need to give them the opportunity to,
yes, I know.
Dr. Chido, I'm the moderator. So if she had talked for too long, I would moderate and let her know someone else.
No, I understand.
It's just because some people indicated they won't have a lot of time, so it's good to initially give everyone the opportunity.
Okay. When she's done talking,
go back again.
Done talking, if anybody else has something to say, they will come and say.
No, it's because of my brother here. What is it, Reverend? What he was saying, that how can we tackle this? It's not even a solution. It will happen. We're just creating the awareness. That's where I came in. It's not as if I'm talking so that others will not talk. So I'll shut up now. Carry on.
Yeah, Dr. Chido, that is an example of the why your video was so upsetting, is that the fact that you thought that she should stop, even though I'm the moderator. It goes yes.
Susan,
you let her talk, whether you enjoy what she's saying or not, you allow her to finish.
No, it wasn't because I was
the next person who wants to talk now, I haven't seen anyone indicate by their hands.
No, because Susan, listen, that I have to speak
saying or not, you allow the person to finish talking, and then
I'm sorry. It's just that some of the people who are coming on had already indicated.
It's okay. Anybody who kind of waits to give their opinion, it's all right. Somebody else has to finish. Everybody has something to do somewhere. So
Susan, it's not a war, it's a deliberation. We are here to deliberate. It's not a war.
I want you to understand, I'm the moderator, so you allow me to interject if someone is talking for too long, so that we can have one house. Yeah. Okay. So who else wants to talk?
It's me.
Who?
I've not finished talking before my network.
Yes, go on. I love what you were saying.
My network disturbed me. So, honestly, if you ask me, I would tell you that it is not really, whether by tradition, African tradition, which all of us are part of. I grew up with my grandfather. I saw things happen. There are so many things that I consider to be lies that our forefathers instituted marginalization of women. I don't agree with that. If it was so, they will not be asking our daughters, do you accept marrying this person? Because they must consult. They must consult the lady. Somebody wants to marry you. Are you okay with it? They would have just bundled the girl and give to the man. Just go home. But no, it wasn't like that. But I must tell you that let us call a spade, not an instrument of digging. It is not wise, like I was saying, to go home, pick up a girl, probably some of them doesn't know their left from their right. You not take advantage of that. No matter how anything goes, you cannot press somebody on the ground for too long. I want to condemn this belief that don't bring any girl. If that lady knows you, the both of you are friends. I mean, you are friends, and you now the both of you travel back abroad. I don't think there will be an issue. But where the problem is that you don't know this girl. This girl doesn't know you. Just you know, be telling her, pushing her, instructing her, suppressing her. It is not. See, nobody should tell me that Western world is toxic. Igbo people have this adage that the firewood in a distance or in a country is what they use in cooking. You understand? Now, can I tell you that Nigerians are not the only people in the US or in the West? They are not the only people. Chinese are there, Indians are there, many of them are there. Do you see how those people relate? I've traveled quite a number of times. It's just that I don't have much interest in staying out. You will see them, they are friends. Anybody that close on time will go and wait for the other. Do they bundle the women to be the one coming to wait for them? I'm not here to support anybody, but let us say the truth that according to the scriptures or according to creation, we are all created humans. Do you know that some of us, many of us here now, we are all Christians? In the book of Genesis chapter 5 verse 2, Bible called the two of them Adam. Both male and female were called Adam. So God would have reduced one, called that one higher thing and called the other one a lesser thing. So the truth remains that instead of encouraging that separation, because the moment you keep a woman at home, she becomes vulnerable to unfaithfulness. But that's the truth. She will break her fidelity because you are there. Maybe you come back once in 5 years. Her emotions, who is servicing it? Let us not. It's only in Africa where women don't have any right to cheat. But you abroad, you are busy sleeping with women. No, now let us say the truth. You are busy sleeping with women. Then you kept her home. Then you are now abroad, going up gallivanting. So once anything happens, look, we are all adults here. Sex is like food to the body, whether you like it or not. It's a hunger that must be met. It must be satisfied. Then you go once in 10 years, you come back just to make her baby factory or stuff like that. It is not all about marrying her and keeping her, but what about the emotional torture she goes through? Especially you keep it with your mother. Your mother sees everything wrong with her. Then when she leaves for another man, society will nail her on the cross as an unfaithful woman. You should be discouraged. You should be discouraged. It is not nice. Somebody else can talk.
Absolutely. I mean, like, did we think of this angle of how it will affect that other human being who has been told that I've come to marry you, you stay here, I go back, knowing fully well that the man is not going to be faithful whilst he's gone back to whichever country he's come from. He's definitely going to be with any or many women, but he expects her to stay faithful. And because he prefers that she's staying back home because the culture, the system seems to favor the man more. Dr. Chido, do you want to speak now, or the gentleman?
Yeah, thank you. Diane, first of all, please, if you said you're available, also, there are so many of us available as well. So if give us a place where to send the application, because I'll send mine too. I'm looking for wife.
Dr. Chido, I thought you were married. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was, but not now again.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, what's this brother's name, please? Introduce yourself and let's get your point of view.
Who? Myself, with the hands up. Uzo. Me.
Yes, yes.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is well. Happy Sunday. I'm sorry I turned in late. I picked up some of the factors or points that were being made. Brother that is drinking water, you were making a reference to our African men that will go home, marry a woman, leave the woman at home, and come out here, exploit, do whatever, and so on. I ask a question. That woman, the woman herself who is in that situation, she has a choice. Was she forced into it?
She
Should
wasn't
I
forced
answer?
into it,
No,
but
no,
you don't
excuse
have
me.
right to treat
Should
a
I
woman.
answer? Should I
Okay.
answer?
Yes, you
Is
can
it okay?
answer.
Okay, let me answer you. Excuse me, sir.
Hmm.
Sorry, Reverend Stephen. Just before you go, I just want to take this read from YouTube. Lux 2018. He says we ought to stop the cultural melting pot perspective. You cannot merge Igbo, Western, and biblical worldviews. That's an uneducated and confusing way to live. I just want to bring that up so that you can address that as well as you speak.
Okay, in as much as I'm taking it easy, I don't want to be too fast. The society is against women. We're in a society where women do not have right to make some certain choice or to walk out of marriage at will. Don't ask me if she doesn't have choice. She doesn't have choice because in as much as they bundle into marriage, pulling out of it will make the whole society to ostracize you. In fact, it's a taboo. You don't have any right to leave. All right? And by so doing, you find out that a man that leaves his wife at home and travel abroad, coming back once in 5 years, that is wrong. It should not be justified by any means. Secondly, somebody who is saying tradition, ask that person, does he know tradition? If I ask you, what is tradition? Do you know tradition? What
Are
is
you
tradition? No, I'm
are you
answering.
asking? Okay.
No, I'm not asking you. The person on YouTube saying we are confusing Western and tradition. Do you know tradition? First of all, we are humans. The law was made for human, not human for the man, for the law. Everything is subject to change.
Mhm.
You understand? You can't
The
tell me that.
law doesn't true law doesn't change, and I think you need to try and distinguish between law and legislation because a lot of us mistake legislation for law, and
Okay,
that
sir.
creates a big
Excuse
conflict,
me. Don't be
brother.
offended.
I'm
Let
not
me tell you.
offended.
Let me tell you. During the era of your grandfather chose wives for their children, for their male children. Is that law
Mhm.
obtainable now? It
That is
was
not
a
a
law.
that wasn't a law. That was a culture. It was
It
a way of
was a
life.
law. It was a law. It
No, it
was
was
a
a
law in my
culture, not a law. It
tradition.
was a
It was a
culture.
It
law
was,
that you
bro.
No,
marry
it,
for your son. Pick a wife
okay.
from anywhere you choose. It was a law.
It was a
It was
culture,
a
my
law that you
brother.
bundle a woman in the name of friendship between two men. You bundle your daughter, even betroth that daughter at underage, waiting for her to grow so that you can bundle her. Those laws are no more
That
obtainable.
law, was it a Western law or an African law, though?
African law.
Okay. Well, I mean, written law, was it written?
How many African tradition is written? How many of them
Even
are
the
written?
ones that
I
are
think it
written
was
is
more of
not
a
being
traditional
implemented.
thing, more
Brother,
traditional and more cultural
brother,
than
you're
legal.
All right.
It's more,
All
yeah.
right, let the Reverend finish, and you can bring your own point of view instead of making it an argument.
So what I'm saying is that this thing is simple. First of all, if you want to do anything, first of all, consider we are humans. Do not put that out of the whole conversation. We are humans. Check, for instance, that you have a daughter who go through this process. As a father, how do you feel? You have a sister who go through this iron eye. How do you feel? We should not present it as if tradition makes us heartless. We are not heartless. We are humans. We have feelings. We have understanding. Let nobody see that I'm supporting women. I'm telling you from my own point of view, my own style of life, what I've seen in life. It is important we understand that humans are humans. So if tradition has given you edge over another, we should not embrace it, especially when it is wrong. Another person should talk.
Yeah, can I just come in, please?
Yes, Elder.
Okay, thank you. I would like to hear the voice of the other sisters present here as well. There is another sister here. She didn't spoke yet, so it'll be good to hear her point of view as well. But I'm just going to give one example of situation of some friends, some people I know as well. They do have a type of relationship where they've been married for 20 years or sometimes a little bit less or more than that. And suddenly they go to a divorce. The wife decides to divorce them. Some case they have grown up children. Other case they may not have children or the children are on their teens years. And some of those women will turn their children completely against their father. They'll make their life as well completely miserable for this man. The man will try everything to make peace, to make sure the wedding keep on, the marriage keeps on, the relationships keep going, and it doesn't happen. And then they're going to start those type of women. Some of them is going to start spread everything private to happen inside the house with them and their husbands to their friends or relatives or so on, and try to completely destroy those men. There is that situation as well. There is women who do that as well. Come here and live here for many years, or some are even born here. They are from African origins or other places as well in the world. And they will that as well. What will almost completely destroy this man or completely destroy. And the same situation here happened to women as well, where the man after 20 years will walk out on the relationship and abandon this woman, they 45, 50 years old, and let this woman completely alone and just go to pick up someone younger. Someone is 10, 15, or even 20 years younger than them when they're on their 50s. And this is another situation that happen as well. So we need to see those sides as well and discuss about that. When we was talking about men going back home and bringing up wife for themselves, there is the case of men on the 50 going and pick up a woman back home 10, 15 years younger than them. Of course, that relationship, you're not going to work. There is case work, yes, but it's extremely rare because this person will come 10 years younger than you. Her mind is a different time of your mind. What she's like is different than you like. You experience things, now she's going to start to experience. You're not going to longer do that. You don't want to do that, and she wants. She wants to go out, to enjoy, to party with you. You're not going to want because you are more older, you are tired. You don't have the same energy as she's have. You're not going to be able to be there for her as well on her feelings. You're not going to be able to be there for her sexually as well because she has much more energy than you. She's going to require much more than you can give her. And then is when it starts to go wrong because she's going to start to look elsewhere. And then you're going to blame her. I brought her here. I have expense. I pay for this. I pay for that. But you didn't have what is the most important. You didn't give time to know this person. She doesn't know you. And then you say, oh, she was brought by force. No, she was not brought by force. But she comes as well because she sees the perspective of a better life. There is this illusion of so many peoples back home. Europe is a paradise. So many women will come because they want to go and have their degrees. They want to have their masters. They want to have a better life. So they come for that. No, because of you. And that man, most of the time, is the one you open the door for this to happen. So when arrive here, she doesn't love you. She doesn't know you well. 3, 6 months, or even a year. When you see a person 2 or 3 times when you go back home, that person doesn't know you. But she's come for a nice family. Her family knows my family. You are not married to her family. Day-to-day life, you're going to live with this woman, and this woman is going to live with you. So you are living a time where we're seeing a lot of relationships broken up because of that as well. Because the many think to have a younger woman, it makes him look more interesting to the world. It makes him look more, people going to see me more as a expression we use in Brazil, as a macho man.
Are we allowed to interject or allow you to finish speaking? Because
If you don't mind, I finish, then you can go after. Thank you for asking. So there is that situation as well. So I think the respect needs to go both ways. You need to really know someone before you go forwards to having a marriage, forward going to have a relationship, forwards going to live with that person. And that takes time, at least a year. You need to know the person, you need to go out, you need to have dinner, you need to have disagreement, you need to discuss about you guys like, you need to go to different places to see how both of you guys behave. You need to know the friendship of this person, the circle of this person. You need to know if this person is educated as you, if you are educated. You need to know if this person, why is the aim of this person. You need to ask, what do you want about the future? What do you see yourself in 5 years' time? What you're really looking for in a partner? Do you like this? Do you like that? All those things are extremely important in a relationship and in order for a relationship to work. And many cases as well, the women are left there with children, sometimes young children, and the guys just go and leave.
Yeah.
And in some cases as well, the woman as well is going to leave the guy because she finds someone more attractive. She'll find someone you'll care of her. Emotional side, take care of her, love her in a different way than you do. So we are different people. I'm finalized. As a man and woman, we are different people. We know the way woman sees love is different than the way the man sees love. So we need to know that and work out on that. Sorry, Sister Susan.
No worries. At the end of the day, you've spoken so well and you have analyzed it so excellently in a balanced way. At the end of the day, from what you've said, from what every other person have said, even the Reverend, it goes to the point that just because you feel like you cannot control a woman that is already westernized, if you do go back home to get married and you get married to someone you barely know or who barely knows you, it is bound that this person will come over and that relationship will crash in no time. So please, brother, go ahead and say what you want. I see you laughing. I'm not sure what's funny.
Sister in red, you made some good points at the start.
My name is Elda.
Elda, I appreciate you. There were some beautiful points you made.
As well.
I beg your pardon?
Introduce yourself as well.
Forgive me. My name is Uzo or Joe. Uzo Demo or Joe. Joe for Joseph. I'd rather go by Uzo. So, Elda, you made some good points at the beginning. Then you shifted into relationship types, and older men seem to go for younger women, and it doesn't work. I think with the whole thing going on here, speaking about relationships, speaking about westernized ways of marriage and Africanized ways, and how we've lost track. The most important thing that I think we're not addressing, which in my opinion is the true cause of every problem, is the values. Men and women have lost their values. Men no longer know their place, and women, more importantly, don't know their place. I'm a guy. I can speak for myself and for men, but I can't speak for women because I can only speak on the experiences I may have had or shared with other men and women, but not to generalize. For example, when a woman is pursuing a career, by the time she achieves her career goals, she's gone past her sell-by date. No man will want to settle with her to have children with her that elder age. It is
sell-by date. Woman have sell-by date.
When I say sell-by date, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. The terminology, to clarify, don't see it as an insult. If I want me to be more polite, I'll use the word, she has gone past, she's getting too old to be considered to be having children.
There's no better way of saying this.
No, there is
it's not I am telling you my feeling.
Go ahead and finish. Yeah, go ahead.
Elder, a woman can have a child at the age of 50, right? But how safe, or what is the guarantee that a woman at 50 will have a child as healthy as a woman in her 20s? Science proves it. Culture proves it. We are best in our young adulthood. It is the best time for us to have children.
I'm not sure where you're taking the conversation to. This conversation.
No. The point I'm speaking for men. I say man.
Yeah, sorry, let me quickly say something. When Elder brought up the age and relationships and the age gap in a man and a woman, she also brought that up to compare the reason why a relationship like that might not last because of the age gap and the sexual needs and emotional needs of the two people and the inability of the man being able to meet the sexual desires or emotional stability of a younger woman. It was not to talk down on the male folk or male gender, but when you're talking, it's I just want us to balance it in such a way that you're giving a viewpoint that helps us understand this topic of why men go and marry. Well, the men who go and marry from abroad, and the advice of not taking them along with their husbands, not taking them to Europe with them. Okay, so
All
that
right,
we
fair enough.
it's not about sell by dates and all of that. Yeah.
We take on when if a man is going to pick up a woman from Africa and marry her, leave her, then come over here. The reason why we don't bring those women over here, or the risk of bringing a woman over here, the woman misplaces her value. She gets influenced by the westernized way of living, and she
Wow.
misplaces her value at home as a wife. We men, when we marry, we are men. We are aggressive. We have an aggressive characteristic. A wife that we desire should be the opposite of us. We don't want a woman that will be fighting with us. We want a woman that will be subtle, some humble, and allow us to be men to run our relationship. So if a woman is going to be answering back, regardless of the age group, old or young, a sensible man will not want to be with a woman that way. That is like that.
And a
So
sensible woman would not want to
Maybe
be with a
Uzo, you
man
want
that
to
way.
define what your value is. Your
What are you
value is
talking
not
about?
supreme. Your value is not supreme. Let me take a read quickly. Yeah, yeah. Let me. I like the confidence Uzo is
What are you
displaying
talking
here.
about?
I'm speaking the
Displaying a
truth.
lot of
I'm
confidence.
saying the things people
The
don't
sort of
want to
confidence
say, and I'm
that
saying
I'm
the
not
things
looking
people don't
for.
want to hear.
You don't even want to be around a woman like me if we're not on this platform because I will.
Yeah.
You will not have you can't win. Sorry, but let me take a
I'm,
read.
I'm not here. I'm not here to win. I'm here to speak the
No,
truth.
I mean, if we had to have this conversation
That you are
one-on-one,
speaking you truth.
yes.
It's not the truth. It's
Yeah.
you truth.
I know
It's
Uzo.
yours.
Let
Uzo
me
is
It's
take
not
a
the
read
truth.
outspoken.
quickly.
I know
Like
Uzo
when
from
men
prior. He's
say
very
men are
outspoken.
aggressive, men are not.
Let me take a read from YouTube.
Yeah, men are not
Why are you
aggressive.
referring to YouTube? Why don't we refer to the information, the energy we're sharing here together?
Sorry, this is my platform. This is how I do my show.
I beg your pardon. I apologize.
Yes, so I'm going to take a read from YouTube, and it says, Lux 8 2018 says, in day war, one name, yeah, that's Igbo for you. And he said, by the way, a great job you and Susan are doing. I think he's talking to Starman because Starman is my regular guest on Africa Rise. And please be consistent. I've watched your video on influence of feminism in Africa. Good job, guys. But I want to take a read from Charles Oduneye watching from Facebook, and he says, Uzo, please stop. Some women are fully accomplished career wise at the age of 30, so I don't agree with you. And he does mention about you blowing below the belt. This is a man like you, all right? And
Thank you.
and Lux 2018 also says asking questions in a relationship is the wrong approach as you are bound to get the answer you want to hear. The best approach is to examine your prospective partner's principles and values. Absolutely. Because people start out by lying and giving all sorts of fake promises. So if you just go by just what they say, you have to pay more attention to the other things. And if both partners value family structure, that then divorce becomes a distant event. Yes, so please carry on.
Who me?
Uzo, as
Yeah.
much as I don't like what you're saying, if you want to carry on, please go on.
But my sister, hear this now, right? It's not about what you like. The truth should be accommodated. There are things that have been said that may not sit well with me, but I have to accept it that it's her truth, it's her opinion. So if it's a platform where we're sharing,
Opinion is not a
energizing each
truth.
other.
It's an opinion. It's not a truth. What you're saying doesn't make it true. What she's saying doesn't make it. It's
Well,
her opinion, and it's your opinion, and it's my opinion. So go ahead with your opinion.
my truth. I'm giving you my truth based on my truth. I just told you what I told you. I don't know what else you want me to say.
All
I
right.
gave you the truth.
All
The
right. If you
truth
don't have
is,
anything else
the
to say,
truth is,
hmm.
we no longer know where we stand. We've lost our values. We have no values. Therefore, when we go into marriages, we don't even know what we want.
What
But
is
that's
your
not about
value?
everyone.
I did ask
That's
you
not
earlier on, what
about
is your
everyone.
value according to your
My value,
Exactly. Yeah.
I know what I want. I'm not looking for a wife because no woman can give me what I want, with all due
okay?
respect.
That's
The
enough
Maybe
reason,
to
so.
just
Maybe you should
know.
look
You
at a
know the way
man.
That's
you're
absolutely
talking.
enough to
Maybe you
just
should
know
look
that
at a
You
man.
come
there's no
across
point.
as very
you see,
grandiose.
If
you
a
see,
woman cannot give
Uzo,
you, maybe you
you
should
come
sleep with a
across
man, my
as
brother.
very grandiose. The way
Maybe
you
you should
talk,
sleep
wow.
with a
no
man.
woman would, no woman would give you. You don't know what is love. Have you
Exactly.
ever fallen in
I
love
am not
before?
looking for love. I am
That's
not
what I'm
looking for
saying. You're
love.
grandiose.
I'm not
Yes,
looking for
this is
love.
very grandiose. Like
Jesus
I
Christ.
need a woman to
you need to
stand by
be.
my side
That
and
is
be a
the way
wife.
you come
I'm
across.
not looking for love.
No, no, Uzo, the way
You
you
don't
sound,
know
you're
love.
looking for a
That's why you're not
servant, you're
looking for
looking for
love.
a servant, you're looking for a slave for a wife.
Yes, it's a
That's
You
what it
said
sounds
that,
like.
and I never said
yeah.
anything like that, did I?
Okay,
No, your
Reverend,
I never said
mannerisms.
anything like that.
Your
Stephen,
mannerisms.
please carry on so that we can have a more of a
Okay, let money woman, Cindy. Cindy,
Okay.
introduce
Yeah,
yourself, please.
there's a lady there.
sorry, Reverend Stephen was raising his hand. Let him
Oh,
just
okay.
talk and then Money Woman can talk, yeah.
Okay. My brother Uzo,
Yes,
I've
sir.
heard what you say. I'm not here to dispute whatever you say because most of what you said is personal.
It's
But
not
I can
personal.
okay, if you are generalizing, then let me come in to answer you. Because Adibin is personal, I will not dispute it. But if you generalize it, you have included me. We have not lost our values. Values are everywhere. I just want to know from what foundation are you saying this your truth? Is it based on tradition or Christian religion or Islam? What are the from what foundation are you saying this your truth? I want to know. I want to know because
What?
every truth has a foundation. So is he as a
Loving this.
traditionalist or as a Christian or as a Muslim or as a Igbo traditionalist or as Igwe of Ndobodu? So I want to know what is the foundation of your truth? I want to know so that let me know where I am coming from, know where I will counter from. But from whoever area you are coming from, you see, your statement is clear. A man will only be judged by what he said. You are not looking for love. What you are looking for is
It's a
somebody that will
wife.
just come.
I said a
No.
wife.
Now listen, if
Upon
you
that
are
comment.
talking about, wait, sir, if you are talking about love, you talk about wife. As absent of love is a woman. You are just looking for a woman because that word wife is a component of love, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
I am telling you the truth. When you say love, the Bible commands us love your wife. So it's a wife that you love, not a
What about
woman.
people? What about those that don't live by the Bible? That Bible is a book written by man.
That is why I'm asking you from what source is your truth coming from?
My
Because
truth
I
is
know you're
coming.
going to
My
say
source is
this.
from the living man.
A living man
Yes,
hanging, no foundation.
I like that. I like that.
I
I
No,
love
like
now.
this.
that.
I love this
It's me.
reference. Oh.
Sorry, Uzo. It's me you are talking to. I they worry past you. I worry more than you. It's me you are talking to. No, I
I'm
worry
loving
more than
this.
you.
Me,
The truth is that
I
a
don't. Me, I know
living
they
man
worry
hanging.
you. I'm at peace, so I'm very very. I'm cool. I did cool.
Okay,
Oh. I know they
So
worry
it's
you.
troublemaker,
okay.
but let me
Let
read from Lux 2018. There are people who are absolutely invested in what we're saying, even though they're not here. So I'll take their reads, all right? And
Fair
Lux
enough.
2018 says, I am not the one for ad hominems, but Uzo is delusional. He needs love.
He doesn't. Uso doesn't know love.
Oh
He
gosh.
doesn't know love. He has
so
no
what
emotions.
I'm saying is that
He wants a wife, a slave.
in as much as wife is concerned, you cannot eradicate love. Love is wife. So if you say you are not looking for love, then you are just cohabiting. I'm
Brother,
telling you. There are no affection. There cannot be affection.
I think to have a successful relationship, yeah, there's a more fundamental component than love, which is respect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Respect.
Thank you.
Someone can love you and still disrespect you.
100%.
They love you for one or 2 weeks,
your
whatever.
lover, your child. This disrespect, I don't understand from you men. Disrespect. But you can
is
disrespect
two-way.
me.
Respect
But you
is
don't want
two-way.
me to disrespect
Someone
you
respects me and I respect them back for that.
Disrespect. That is what I hear from you people all the time. My wife is disrespecting me. Are you not disrespecting
my
your
brother,
wife?
my brother, please throw more light on what you are saying. I want to really understand
Yes,
you.
let's hear what Starman has to say.
Yes.
Okay, so if imagine I have a wife or girlfriend, she loves me, but she doesn't respect me, meaning that if she's doing something that I think is going to be detrimental to her or to us, she doesn't even want to hear. Once I open my mouth, her own mouth will open more than my own. That's disrespect.
Love is a beautiful thing, right? With love comes respect.
Exactly.
Okay? With love comes respect. When you
Sister, can I ask you a question, please?
What is the definition of love?
Sister, this love that that you're asking the definition of, is this love conditional or unconditional?
Right.
Because are you loving a man? Can I ask you, are you loving a man for the things he's doing for you, or you love him for him being a man? Because
I'm loving a man because I love that man, not for I am an established woman, right? I am established. So I am not looking for a man that would or fall in love with a man because of what I can get from that man. No, I've passed that stage.
Is your love conditional or unconditional?
You know, unconditional, of course.
I'm sorry.
Why do you?
Unconditional love is between a mother and a child.
You know, gone are those
Thank you.
women are saying,
Thank
"Oh,
you.
I'm a man with money. I'm established."
I think there's misconception
between a man and a child. Everything else has an agenda behind it.
Excuse me, please. There's misconception here. This misconception here is like we are using love to eradicate one emotional temperament, likes, dislike. No, there's a problem there. Somebody once asked me my definition of a perfect relationship. I said, perfect relationship is where they have issues and they settle it. The ability to settle when there are discrepancies.
Respect.
I'm coming, sir. That word respect is not when somebody lick your feet, bows to you.
No, and that's not what I'm saying.
Allow me to say, sir. Allow me to say, sir. Sorry, sir. You see, let us get respect straight. Respect, in my own opinion, is to know your boundaries. All right? To know your boundaries. As a woman, you should know your boundaries. As a man, you should know your boundaries. That is what I call respect. Not if you overstretch your boundaries and you want me to maintain my boundary. No, that is humiliation. You are humiliating me. Love does not eradicate temperament, dislikes. No, that's not what love does. And I can tell you that I want to agree with what you said somehow, but let me bring it in another light. Love is not enough in a relationship. Commitment does. I always say that. Love is not enough. Commitment does. If I'm committed to a relationship, you understand, then I am committed to work it out. You understand? There are things I will allow, I will accommodate to correct. And I correct those things. Not necessarily try to show you have disrespected me. But I have to show you that, don't you think that this thing you said to me now, if I say it to you, how will you feel about it? The person say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it that way. So love does not remove your emotions, remove your dislikes, your temperament. No, love have to accommodate them, to sharpen them, shape them, make them suitable, because there are some certain temperament you cannot tame. I have seen mad people. They can laugh aloud. I have tried to move gentle, it's not working. I allow my life like that. But that is the truth. So let us not misinterpret love for muting some certain component that made up that person. I don't think so.
I'll take
Can
thank you so much for
I
that.
say something?
Starman, before you just respond, let me just take a quick read from Facebook. Charles Odinier says, most of the men who run home to find a subservient wife have either been through a failed, I think he wanted to say a failed relationship they have abroad. And for them, the next weak opponent would be a woman from the village who they forget would be up to speed or modern ways of life. Starman, let's hear you. He's interested in hearing what Starman has to say. And then Lux again says, you cannot love a woman and not respect her. By the way, I cringe when men demands for respect in a relationship. Respect is what you earn in any relationship. Starman, everybody wants to hear you talk, even from Facebook and YouTube. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, when people want to get married, like I said, all this, you see, love, when I think people have bastardized love to the point where, I mean, I'm sure you guys have been in a relationship where you fight with your girl or your wife, whoever, just because you didn't tell her I love you this morning. They've taken it and stretched it and centralized it to the point where it's not a string that people pull to test the relationship. They throw it out there.
The modern word is the shit test.
Right. So there's something I always say, like I said, respect first before love. If someone respects me, even if there's no love there, or and another misconception is that people think love is just something that's supposed to be forever and ever and ever and ever. If there's respect there, as that love is, because in reality, love actually goes up and down. In reality, if there's respect there, that love can't shake that. Whatever that love is doing up and down can't shake that relationship. And respect is two-way. Respect is two-way. I never said respect is, oh, go and cook my food. Why are you talking back? No, that's bullying. Before you get married, and see, this is for everybody. Ask yourself, can I marry myself? It shouldn't be, look, when I said the West was toxic, unless we want to fool ourselves, all you need to do is, if you have a child in the West, especially in America, when they come back from school, take their textbook, especially any of those social studies textbooks, and read it and see what they're pushing at them in these schools. And then we let's not pretend we're not in the age of toxic femininity. Toxic feminism. It's a real thing. That movement has been hijacked and it's now being weaponized.
100%.
So like I said, we're in a toxic society, and this is not our culture. And because we live under their jurisdiction, that toxicity is going to bleed in. In fact, from colonization, they've been debasing our own cultures. But something else I also like to tell, see, people need to realize that marriage is not a joke. And I think fundamentally, humans have got marriage wrong. Because marriage, and this is bizarre, marriage is the only thing humans get a certificate first before they do the course. Driving license, you do the course first before you get a certificate. Your degree, you do the course first before you get a certificate. Whatever it is, you're going to do a course first before you're given a certificate, except marriage. And this is why I said about agenda. People go into marriage with all types of men going with agenda, women go with agenda. Women, oh, he's rich. He's rich. Like, okay, so what if he didn't have that money? Would he still be that guy? Guys, oh, she's young and from the village. Hey, when she comes here, unless you're going to put blinkers on her eye when she's here, when she comes here, she's still going to see Wagwan, and that eye will still open. And if you leave her back home, dude, when you go and check, or when you're in the hospital checking hugging your children, make sure you do DNA test if you leave her back home. If you think she are leaving firewood, you just put firewood there and it will be there waiting for you to come back 5 years later. Oh boy, check. Because and if it's not your kids, don't get angry.
Take it like that.
Not yours, don't get angry. Unless you two, you a monk in the abroad. You know, this is why I said this discussion is if we focus on one aspect, a third eye looking down, we begin to see it like bashing one angle. This is why, for me, I always focus on the root cause. What's causing all this debasement of culture and behavior African people are going through?
It's our fathers.
Absolutely. Money woman.
Sorry, you said something earlier that our forefathers.
It's our fathers. Yeah.
Look.
I don't think so.
The toxicity in African culture started with colonization and the forcing of Islam and Christianity on us.
Onto our religion, onto our way of living.
Two most patriarchal ideologies human beings can ever hold in their heads. Look at Islam. In Islam, a woman, her testament is not, you need two women's testaments in court to be up to one. Look at go and read your own Bible and look at, especially the Old Testament, how it places women.
I am here. Don't go too far.
He's speaking the truth.
And then take your time, and go and study books about ancient Igbo culture before colonization came and destroyed everything. And when you find out that women were controlling all the markets in Igbo land, not just even Igbo land, in Yoruba land as well. What do you think Iyaloja means? When they say Iyaloja?
Thank you.
All the markets in Igbo land were controlled by women. And if you control the market, why you control it? Is that not the economy?
Thank you.
So if the women were controlling the economy, how were they suppressed? See, Igbo people were still, and the longer we let this, or Africans, sub-Saharan Africans, or tropical Africans, the longer we carry on these toxic ideologies, the more we debase our cultures, and we're going to actually lose something valuable. White women used to come to Igbo and Yoruba land to come and one of them came and said, these people have feminism. Meanwhile, no, it wasn't. They didn't need feminism. The women, if you control see, when Britain came, they systematically spent 10 years breaking down that power of the markets the women controlled in Igbo land and Yoruba land. Why do you think there was the about women's riot? And there was also a similar, an almost similar uprising in Yoruba land. This misconception that our forefathers would just, like as if they are picking cattle in a shop, pick women. An Igbo woman could even marry a wife for herself if she didn't have offspring to inherit her property, if she was rich. We are doing ourselves a disservice the more we tap into these foreign isms,
narratives,
and then now judging life based on foreign standards that are not even useful to us.
Let me tell you something, please. Susan, is that okay? Please.
Of course, Dr. Chido.
Okay. Obviously, the reason why we're here was because of the video that became controversial. In the video, it tried to discourage Nigerian men from bringing their wives over here. Statistically, you could see that most marriages are saved in Nigeria than in Europe. I've spent a lot of time in Europe understanding this trajectory. We have more failed marriages between Africans in Europe than we have in Nigeria because we still retain values in Nigeria. So the moment you have a wife in Nigeria, you spend 15 years, 20 years being in love with her. The moment you guys move over to the diaspora, you are faced with several challenges that tend to tear you apart, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So those love that you've carried over from Nigeria or from Africa to Europe tend to diminish overnight. So in that video, if you look at it from the surface, it might seem as if the narrator, which was me, was advocating to humiliate or bring down women. Actually, it's not the case. Gentleman there, I really like the way he talks. He seems to understand the African way of life. He mentioned the fact that women were so empowered during our ancestral time, which is true. And I had this discussion with Elder earlier today before this podcast. I said to her that women have always been empowered. It's just that we're talking about what is happening in modern time. Christianity and Islam have changed the way we live our lives. So based on today's marriage to me is a contract. If you look at the dictionary meaning of marriage, it's said to be a union between two people that have to come together. And the purpose of marriage is companionship, procreation, and redemption. That's why people come together. There's a reason for that. It's not acquisition of material stuffs, material wealth, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So marriage today is centered on what the woman gets, what the man gets. That's what we have today. And that's why we have failed marriages in Europe. I don't know any of my friends, let me be realistic, that still live with their wife. I spent 15 years in relationship. Most of my friends that started the journey, gave up within the first 1 year, 2 years, third year. If you stay with a woman in Europe for 4 years, listen, you've done well. For some of us that spent 15 years with a woman, people still come to me and say, bro, how did you make it? If you understand what I'm trying to say. Most of my friends that I know, their wealth were taken over by their wife that they brought over from Nigeria. And these wives, probably were just normal girls who are also, okay. But as soon as they bring them here, there's this, this understanding of power, this renewed power that they tend to acquire from the society, because the society where we are tend to over empower women in a way that they take advantage of that. So I wasn't trying to actually humiliate women. I was trying to save marriages. I advocate that, okay, if you want to marry for traditional reasons, you want to have a wife in Nigeria, because we have to look at reasons why do people choose to marry in Nigeria. Sometimes they think that the children they have here, they've lost them. Because obviously, the father is not really accepted as a father. The father is a number. So these men choose to go back to Nigeria and then marry another wife who probably will become their, become their real children in Africa. But it's really a bad mentality. The society shouldn't force us in a way that we would think that the children we have in Europe are less valued than the ones we have in Africa. So these are prevailing circumstances which I looked into, and that made me make that video. So I did get a lot of response from people. Some people cussed me out, which I like being cussed out. I like controversy because that's why we're here. Without that video, we couldn't have been here today. So even when people look at me and think, you're horrible, you made this video, that's why we're all sitting down here trying to sort it out. And I like the fact that we have the reverend who are coming from a religious point of view. And my guy with I don't know if that's iPod, brother, what do you have there? Is that iPod? so I like your point of view as well, and I like the point of view of Elder and Diane. Okay, respect.
Dr. Chido, the question is, if the West is so toxic and these traditional men want to stay traditional, why can't they stay back in Nigeria or any other country for that matter with their wives that they marry?
It's a very sensitive question, because first of all, we have to consider why do we think.
Sorry, let me just finish this, because I know of marriages also that thrive in Europe, and when they go back home, the marriages fall apart. Why? Because there is another aspect of the African traditional, or it's not a traditional thing. It's just the way that the society empowers men and their side of the family to cheat or to subjugate the women that marry into their families. I know about families that were thriving. There was love, there was success, there were children, everybody was happy. They go back home, and the moment they go back home, there becomes this problem where the husband's family is constantly in the business of the immediate family, telling the husband how to treat the wife, how to do this, and the marriages always crumble. So if you look at it, I'm not sure if there has been a research to see how much more of it, how much more of these sort of scenarios have been on the side of the woman, who is, the one winning or losing, or on the side of the man. We understand even for African men who marry women outside their race, it's not as though the women set out to take what belongs to the man. That has not, I don't think in most situations it's the case, unless, of course, it's a marriage that was founded upon, materialism, on what can be gained as far as economic, how, depending on how economically strong the man is. But in many situations, you will find that even there are factors back home that make marriages crumble. The only reason those marriages don't crumble, and why you would think that they are thriving, is because the women suffer in silence because they don't have a voice. They don't speak up back home when things are not working accordingly and the man is more powerful economically. It's a situation where the woman stays there, suffers until she dies in that relationship. So that's not what you call a thriving marriage, when there is such an imbalance. Go ahead, Elder.
Okay. I
Yes,
was gonna
I'll say on that, just what you say. It doesn't mean the woman is happy. It doesn't mean the woman back home, when you say the marriage is thriving, doesn't mean she's been faithful. Like someone brought up here early, maybe should do some DNA to find out. Maybe she have someone else there. It's giving her what you think you are giving and you are not. So that as well is the reality with so many cases. It doesn't mean you, if you live with someone for 15, 20, 25 years, it means you are happy. I have friends say, I've been in a relationship for 20 years, for 25 years. I didn't like, just for the fact, I respect the fact it's family, but I never been happy. I was there because it was a compromise there, but I was not happy, I was not fulfilled. And that goes for both ways. So it doesn't mean the relationship back home is successful. No, the person may not be happy. The person may not love you. The person is there because it's the condition. And now if you think that is all right for either man or a woman to be in a relationship for 20 years, 13 years, unhappy, that there is something wrong. That's not successful. I think one thing we forgot to say here as well is relationship, it is compromise. There is need to have compromise from both sides. When the brother say respect, respect, I think he should elaborate more on examples of which type of respect he's talking about. Because respect goes both ways. There is no way a woman will let a man. There is no way a woman will let a man, if she's been respected, if she's been loved, if she's been cared, if she's been understood. There is no way this woman is going to let this man for someone else. She will not. Because she knows when she's talked to him, he listens to her. And also he knows when he talks to her, she's listens to him. And when they have any disagreement about something, they may be upset on the moment, but they're going to come together because of the compromise they have one for another, because of the love. Why someone here try to diminish love? When you love someone, you have respect for that person. When you love someone, you have compromise. When you love someone, you pass so many things. But you always tell the person, I'm unhappy about that. The person will talk to you. You guys will have an agreement on that, and you'll change what's no good for that person, what's no good for you. So that it's love.
Yeah.
When you love someone, you respect the person. There is no way you say, oh, the person, he can love me, but he doesn't respect me. No. If the person loves you, she'll respect you. If you love her, you'll respect her. Because me, when I'm in love with someone, I respect the person. So
how do you even love someone you don't respect? I can't even understand how you can even love someone you don't respect.
And the
Yeah,
respect.
exactly.
There is no
Yeah.
possible.
So I'll just take a quick
Impossible.
last read, and we'll all give our final words. We've gone over by 34 minutes, as I would have loved. Lux 2018 says a transactional relationship ends when the transaction is over. If you
Boom.
make your marriage transactional, then you have
Boom.
to try hard to sustain a transaction upon which it was built.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
patriarchy, he says, is contamination. So he's saying right at Starman. Yeah, so with that, Reverend Stephen, you were raising your hand. Do you want to go first? Because this is a final round for us to call it a day.
Okay. I want to say that respect is not by choice; it's natural. There are no basis for it. You must. Our parents taught us from childhood to respect people. So I don't see is when you are loved or no, 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 no. Respect is respect, whether love or not. Lastly, what I want to say is that please, you see, when we are talking about religion, church spoil a lot of things. I always say this that church people are the problem of the pastors. Do you know why? The Bible is there for you to read. You don't read because many things that happens in the church are not scriptural. I'm telling you, they are not scriptural. The Bible have never supported that a woman should be kept on the floor or a man should be kept on the floor. Even the Bible contradicts the Western culture. Go and read your Bible very well. So the church, the problem in the church is the members. They don't read. They only rely on what one pastor said, which is wrong. So let us learn to read. And God bless you all. I'm done talking.
Reverend Stephen he's like, he's tired of these people here. God bless you all. Who else wants to go next? But before we go to the next person, there's a long read from Charles Odune who said, I thought the whole concept of marriage was a foundation of building a family and the eradication of broken homes and standing by one's family to build a better society. For example, there are guys who spend all their time after work in all these Nigerian restaurants, and they spend a lot of money on other women eating and drinking without compromise, but they expect the one they brought from home to manage and bear. And when she makes a demand, she has changed, or when she makes a demand, she has changed, or eyes don't open.
Okay.
You see how
Okay.
this
You
is a
see?
man writing. So who wants to go next?
Anyway, what am I gonna say? Men will always be men. You know,
Oh, network cut out. Who wants to go next?
Oh,
Who wants to go
Elder.
next whilst we're waiting for her to reconnect?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Susan, for having me here today. It's been a pleasure to have that discussion with all of you and seeing new faces, what I didn't know before. I think it's very important to debate, not only that, but every other subject you can bring after that. But I do stand by my words, and I'll end saying that when you respect someone, you love the person. When you love the person, you respect the person. There is a difference of the respect brought by your parents and brought on the world, and the respect inside the relationship where you are meeting up with a stranger person, where you're going to be your companionship for the next few years or dates or so on and on. So there is that difference. And I'll end with that. There is to be a compromise. When there is a compromise, there is respect, there is love, there is companionship, and there is everything else. So that is the thing. And for my brother, he says he's not looking for a wife, he's not looking for a woman. Maybe you'll find a man what you are looking for. Good luck on that. Or maybe you are one of those
Eh,
personitos marido,
Elder,
get
Elder,
married to
I love
yourself.
you. I love you. I
That's a
love your
joke.
energy. I love
That's
that
a joke.
smile. I love
That's
the
a joke.
humor.
Maybe
Show
you need to
love.
marry to yourself
Uzo,
and
Uzo, when
invite
do you
us to
become
the
repentant
party.
right now?
But yes, thank you so much. I love you guys, and have a week, amazing week ahead of you guys.
Thank you so much, Elder, and I'll catch up with you on the other end. So let's go on to have yourself a wonderful evening. Let's go on to, just before I let the next person take on their final thoughts, is Lux 2018, because Reverend Stephen is still here, so he can respond. He says, "Not true, Reverend. What most African parents taught us is not respect, but subservience. Subservience." Sister Diane, you were trying to talk before.
Yeah, I had a call. Sorry. Yes, so I said men will always be men. There's nothing we say that they listen to or they buy, because they are stuck in the analog era of our fathers. So this is something that we are going to struggle with. They will still go home and bring the wives and treat them here like slaves. That is the reason why they go home and bring women here. But I love this conversation. I love it so much. I think Susan will have to do this more often.
We should.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I really like it. And Reverend, oh my God, I love you. You spoke really, really well. And my Igbo brother with the Igbo Biafra flag. You spoke really well. But you, Uzo, you're a grandiose. You are. You say you're not looking for love, you're looking for a wife. And that wife, you're looking for a slave.
I never said that.
Before you marry wife now.
Sister, I never said I'm looking for a slave. Oh. You didn't even ask me.
You know what? It came across.
No, but you never even asked me what am I looking for in a wife.
I did ask
maybe
you.
Maybe if you had asked me what I was looking for in a wife, I'll give you my list.
We're going to ask you that when the topic is about what to look out for in a wife.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know the way Reverend answered him. Reverend spoke. Reverend, please, we have to connect.
I'm just throwing spanner every now and again. I could throw spanner. That's all.
And teachers, honestly.
Yes.
I really love you. I want to connect with you. Uzo, I don't know what I won't connect with you, sir.
No problem. No problem. Remember, we cannot all be of the same feathers. All our different energy and mindset is what keeps us united. If you would want to connect with me, I still appreciate you.
No, I'm joking.
The Reverend was asking, where should he connect with you?
Maybe after here now. My channel on Facebook is Diane's TV.
Yeah,
I talk about.
I'm gonna connect you both so that
connect us both.
Because
with
Reverend is someone that we want to protect. We want to protect.
Yeah, you told me about him already.
Yes,
and, I've seen. I always believe what you say, Susan.
Yes, we want to protect him at all costs. All right, who's next to speak? Yes, Reverend, do you want to go?
I've already finished. All I'm saying is that it is good to understand that women are humans. All right. We should judge from the aspect of being a human. And I want to also say that doing the right thing is not against African culture, because African people, I would tell you, African is the king for the whole world.
Yeah.
Everything, anywhere, anything they have learned, even if they try to twist it, they learned it from Africa. We are the king. You understand? So let us stop misinterpreting who we are and giving it what we are not. I'm not neither supporting the West or who, but I'm saying let us do this thing because we are humans, not just because there are certain tradition that says this or that, but just, as you grow, you know what is right. Let's do it. I'm so grateful, Susan. I'm so grateful to be in your platform today, and I really enjoyed. And I'm happy I met Uzo. I want to see you next time.
A pleasure to see you. Next time I'll be more composed. I've never done this before. I just turned up. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm happy. You see, I'm smiling. It's all good. I have love for you guys.
My girlfriend, brother, I'm happy to see. I hope to see all of us next time. And
yes,
I
sure.
really enjoyed the show.
Sure.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll connect on WhatsApp, okay?
It's
I
okay,
really
man.
like the way
today
you...
it says, treat your wife like your mother or your
Exactly.
daughter.
Oh, you came out
All
of a
will
woman.
get you. All we'll get is peace and love. What all we will get is peace and love. Starman Alpha, my Starman on Africa Rice TV, any day, anytime. My go-to man.
Suzanne, my personal person. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you for always holding these platforms and
Yeah.
bringing.
I'm glad you're back, Suzanne. I'm glad.
Bringing people.
I'm glad you're back.
To...
We missed you, Suzanne. We missed you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're back. I'm going to TikTok now. I think we should go and deliberate this on TikTok. You see people from all over the world who enter our box.
Well, they go attack me, tire be that.
They go attack. Women go chop your neck.
I go disguise myself from now on.
You have to. You have to wear a mask.
No, but you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised as women are attacking each other. There'll be a section of women that love him. That love him for what he's saying.
They're not going to be many.
And for some of them, they believe they can change him.
They're not going to be many.
But that is a mission. I will change it.
God's side. There's always that one strange fellow or sister that will stick with something out of the norm, but there won't be many.
Wait, see, let me tell you something. Suzanne, let me tell you something, Go and get any guy you know, put him on social media or is it online dating, and then go and find a well-known criminal that's in jail, either for something dastardly for serial killing, and then check which of them is getting more response from women.
I know. We know. Yes.
Women like bad boys, though.
Yes. Bad boys.
Women like bad boys. But no, not now.
All right. Is that your final thoughts, Starman?
But yeah. I was just gonna say, I said earlier that marriage is the only thing you get a certificate first before you do the course. Only in tropical African cultures do you get something a bit different before the coming of Christianity and Islam. In traditional African cultures, you in a lifetime, depending on the culture, you have at least 5 to 7 rites of passage initiations. One of these was for marriage. The first one was at birth. Then there's puberty. Then there's when you're about to take whatever your career as a man or a woman is going to be. Then there's marriage. Then there's when you merit something in society. Then death. There's, depending on the society. The one for marriage, and if you remember, Calabar women, traditionally, before they get married, they will take them to is it fattening hut or something, where they, prepare them. It's not just feeding them to get body or that. They teach how to please the man, this, that. It was preparing people for marriage, not all this, I can't find wife in London. Please, find me one of your friends or one of your sisters. No, it wasn't any of that. And this is why you have our grandparents' generation where they stayed in their marriages till death. They didn't need the Catholic Church to come and tell them, oh, till death do you part. No. This breaking marriage, 2 months, 5 years, you've broken up, is a recent Western phenomenon. And we too were just, anything the West give us, we will just photocopy. We're just aping them now. See, I wish Sister Elder was here. I was going to tell her about what I mean by respect. See, respect in the African philosophy of Ubuntu. And Ubuntu, you have a representation of
I just realized Chido is not here on screen.
He's here.
Yeah, I'm actually here. I don't think you can see me. I'm here.
No,
can you see me?
I've just brought you up. I didn't realize you're not on the screen.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
So in every tropical African society, you have either a philosophy, a saying, a word, a sentence, something that encompasses Ubuntu. Now, in Ubuntu, the central philosophy of Ubuntu is not even something they teach you because you're a kid. And the Locks in the comment was right. modern African childhood, our parents didn't teach us. Yeah, there was respect to some degree, but a lot of it was subservience. Now, central to Ubuntu philosophy is respect. Do unto others as you like done to you. If you want respect, you respect people, and you get it back. It's as simple as that. In Christianity, look now, look at what Christianity and Islam. For Christianity, they say the way they frame the position of the woman is that she belongs to the man. Now, accepted. If the man is the head of the house, that house is his responsibility. He has to take accountability for looking after that house. But the way Christianity frames it is almost like they are the property. Same thing with Islam is even worse. And then you now have this modern day feminism that's telling women, oh, the world is yours. You can get everything you want. Meanwhile, men, no, even the top men can't get everything they want. They can come close to it, but not all men get what they want. Not even all men get the chance to procreate before they die. So, this narrative that they're now selling 4 billion women, you can get it all. The world is yours. I'm sorry, it's causing an imbalance in the whole thing. Because even men don't act like that. We don't operate like that. Men, we understand balance because we understand if you booga too much outside that balance, you could have a fight on your hands. Somebody who start like, what the fuck? Like, sorry, you're transgressing my boundary. And, next thing, fists up. So we understand this very well. But yeah.
Yeah.
I look forward
I'm not sure if Elder will hear you. You wanted to talk to her about what you meant by respect, what your definition of respect was. Washington Stanley, yeah, my guys are here
So
again.
can you guys hear me, please?
I hear
Am
you.
I on the program? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
we
we
hear
can
you.
hear you. Yes,
Okay,
Washington Stanley says fattening room. Okrika people in River State still practice it, that tradition. Elder is it's here. I'm not sure if she'd like to come on. Let me see. Elder, Starman wants to make sure that you understand his view of his definition of respect.
Right. So I was saying that respect, in traditional African philosophy, Ubuntu, which simply means I am because you are. Live and let live. Do unto others as you like done to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. And like I said earlier, people should ask themselves, will I marry me? So therefore, if you marry someone, you have to treat them as you expect to be treated. Respect is not about giving instructions or giving orders. And like I also added, part of why you have a lot of this breakdown is the debasement of this African philosophy and cultures by more toxic philosophies like Christianity and Islam. And in Christianity, the way the woman is framed or positioned, and in Islam is even worse, is as the property of the man. Now, granted, in a household, the man has the responsibility to look after the house, to protect the house. That's the primary looking after. But in Christianity and Islam, that responsibility is straight. Oh, okay, you're my responsibility, so therefore I own you. That's not a basis for respect. And then, like I added as well, in today's world, this whole feminism has sold women, a disproportionate view of the world that it's not really aligned with the men. Feminists have sold to women that you can own the world is yours. Take the world. You can have it all. But even men don't operate like that. No man wakes up thinking, oh, the world is mine, I own it all, or I can have the whole world. We'll just be delusional doing that. And we understand as well that if you transgress too much in your ambition to own the world, another man is going to stand up and challenge you. It's going to, dude, you're transgressing, like face up. So this has created an imbalance. And there's something else I've been watching for about 2 decades now going on in the West. And that is how largely women have been empowered, Black women have been empowered above the men by the Western societies. In Britain, here where I live, I remember when Tony Blair came to power and he was on his whole, political correctness. Oh, you have to be PC. Oh. And then suddenly people started getting arrested for racism, which didn't used to happen during, who got arrested for racism during Thatcher's time. I mean, people were still getting lynched during Thatcher's time. But Tony Blair wanted to, I mean, he's a liberal, neoliberal. He wanted to come up with this new sort of image about Britain, New Britain in Europe. And the government, Tony Blair's government, passed a decree that companies, all government parastatals and companies, should employ at least 3% of ethnic minorities and women to reflect that same percentage in the society. A lot of the and obviously companies had to comply, or else you'll be flagged for discriminatory or whatever, A lot of the companies signed up. But what they did was effectively, in their eyes, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. They began to employ, remember I said what the government wanted was for companies to employ ethnic minorities and women to reflect more the percentages in society. Ethnic minorities were 3%. Obviously, women are 50%. But what a lot of the companies started doing was, in their view, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, was employing Black women. She's an ethnic minority and she's a woman. So I've met the government's criteria. And this trend hasn't reversed. And in the company, you have to see it how the company saw it as well. For years before this, the Black man had been stigmatized as violent. Any small thing, once they make report violent, they are going to bring you down violently with chains. Any small thing, any white person makes a call, even if they're the ones being at fault, he's violent, you are going to be the one arrested. Companies already had this stigma. Oh, the Black man is violent. The Black man is aggressive. Why would I need someone who might challenge the status quo? So they just employ the women, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And that trend is still going on today.
Topic for another day.
I think that is another topic, bro. You are going away from what I was talking about.
Dr. Chido, really quickly, because we're going to call it a day right now.
Okay. Let me finish with this reality here. You see, poverty plays a lot of role when it comes to marriage. You see, the way marriage are conducted here, or the way marriage happens in Europe, is different from the way marriage happens in Africa. Most marriages in Africa are influenced by or induced by poverty, because a woman sees marriage as get away from poverty. So now, when you're marrying a woman in Nigeria, if you don't understand the way things play out there, like we that had the opportunity to spend time in Nigeria and time in Europe, have taken our time to actually look at both sides and see the way things play out. So in Nigeria, most women, you pay like dowry. When you're marrying a husband, you expect some kind of rewards from the family, and sometimes the parents have to go and check out the man you're marrying if the man is actually well-to-do. I've seen situations where no, you can't marry the man because the man doesn't have money. So money actually play a lot of role. So now, how do you guarantee that there's already love that exists between two people, because it wasn't really about that union that marriage is defined as, a legal union between two people who come together for purpose of redemption, recreation, and all that. So it doesn't play part in Africa in that way. So again, when they come over,
That case, no, you can't, because you're speaking from a point of view that is probably from your culture. When you go to Nigeria, the experience you have from Nigeria is your culture, where you come from, the eastern part of Nigeria, your Igbo. So from the thing you have described, all I
yeah,
hear is what happens a lot in your setting, in
no,
your.
it's actually something that happens in Africa. If I have to expand it,
No,
because
don't
Nigerian
generalize it,
problem.
because don't
Okay,
generalize
let
it,
me say,
because a
let
lot
me
of
say my
women
view.
don't marry
Let me say my
looking
view.
for
Okay,
a man who is a poverty escape conduit.
okay, is it okay for me to express it from my own point of view so you understand where I'm coming from?
Mm.
Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So my point of view is this, or my observation, is that poverty do play a lot of role in decision making in Africa. That's what I'm trying to say. Even it extends to marriage as well, because look at the poverty ratio in Nigeria. Look at the rate of women in prostitution. Do you
Okay,
understand
now
what I mean?
we're going to a different dimension.
Yeah.
No, it's still in reference to the video that I made. That's, remember why we are here today. We are talking about the video that talked about. You see, we have actually deviated so much because the talk was supposed to be about the video, but allow you guys to expand on other areas,
Of
which
course,
is,
of
yeah.
course.
But going back to the main reason why we are here, which is about the video, which I made, that was about the fact that I was saying that it's better to have your wife in Nigeria rather than bring her over, because when you bring her over, the values, that value that we talk about in marriage changes. So the value attached to marriages in the diaspora is not the same attached to Africa. I haven't lived in Africa. I lived in here and also married in Africa and married here. I think I have a wealth of experience in order to say this. And I have a lot of my friends who have also married in Africa and married here. So when they talk about experiences, it tend to, concur with what we individually have experienced. So because poverty plays a lot of role, when the woman that comes here sees the man as a potential getaway from poverty, because there are so many reasons why people leave Africa, leave that shore to come to Europe. They leave, we are categorized as economic migrants. I'm part of that category that's seen as economic migrant, because we didn't come to this country to maybe go to school and go back. We came to this country to school and stay. So most of us relocated from Nigeria because we are driven by poverty. So you have men who are, pushing forward, coming over here. You also have women who are, because everyone is, unemployed. The unemployment situation tends to
This
affect
is the reason
everyone.
why I say, anyway, you're speaking for yourself. Not everybody migrates because of poverty. Not everybody migrates because of
I said
marriage. Not
we
everybody.
Africans are
No, I mean, I'm
categorized.
talking
So
about
Oh,
Africans
no
now.
all
You cannot,
Africans
even as
migrate for that.
Africans, you cannot
No.
yeah,
speak like that.
the percentage is what we talk about. Tell me the percentage. Have you looked into the percentage of migrants in Africa? Those
You
that
have to,
migrate for
you have
economic
to,
reasons?
But that's another topic.
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying. It's another
That's
topic.
2 hours
something else.
long.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, Dr. Chido, I get your point, but it's just a
Thank you.
totally different, topic for another day. But
No, but it's still in relation to the video,
we have
though.
2 hours. We're over 2 hours already. The truth of the matter is, when you made your video, you had enough time to have given a balanced perspective, because the video, I wish I had the video to play here so others can hear it.
Yeah,
You
but let's attack the video as a character. The person was an actor. So
now you
this
want
is
to
as if you're bringing it to me
now
directly.
you want
I
to
get the energy, direct energy.
yourself
It's
from
not
that
supposed. Let's keep
person.
that person as
This
an actor.
anyway, it's not about
Yeah.
blaming you, Dr. Chido. It's you. I know it's
Yeah.
you who said it.
No, but yeah, now
Yeah,
that's the
you
thing.
know,
We
that
need the
you must
balance.
advise. However,
Okay, I take it. Thank you. Thank you. I take it.
however, we have to understand that even as Africans, not you can't say all Africans. No,
It's the
No,
poverty ratio, though.
no,
Poverty
it's
ratio.
not poverty.
Poverty
It's
ratio.
not poverty. There are
It
people
is.
who outrightly get married and in a love marriage, and they come here because
Just
one
a little percentage. A
the
little,
percentages,
just
you can't even
fraction.
argue what the percentage is because you've not made a proper research to say,
Okay, I tell you, I've done the research. I've actually been conducting this. It doesn't take anything to do a research.
okay,
All it takes is for you to understand the demographic where you live, the shift, the
I understand
people.
the demographic. See, I also have the blessing of having lived in Africa, in Nigeria, and lived
Okay.
in the West and visited the West. I have a wealth of experience. So if I want to go by what my idea is, it will be very myopic to look at the world from just my perspective of how I've experienced. Because if I say that to you, I will be telling you that everybody who comes from Africa is not migrating because of
No,
poverty.
I talk about percentage
I
though.
wasn't poor
That's what
in
I'm talking
Africa. I
about.
wasn't
So,
looking for a man to take me out of poverty
no,
when I
it's
moved
not
here.
personal.
I was well
It's the
established and in fact loved my
no.
life so much more back home than I have it here. Why?
You're
Because
one of the fortunate
my,
few.
my
You're one
husband
of the
come
few.
to the village to marry a woman who is he thinks he can subdue. So we cannot give this thing as though our experiences and what we know is yea and amen of how it is for every single person. All right.
Okay.
So we must learn to understand that no matter how much you've only seen what you could see, which what was your focal point. This is what you have seen. Hence the reason why when they do a research, they don't take just a small group of people from one area of a society and take that outcome to be what it will be what's the word now, what is attainable anywhere else. Okay, to do this research and say that it's scientific, you have to take a group of people from different countries, different tribes, different, people from different diaspora countries.
Is there on the internet though?
And
Is there on the internet? You can
no,
check the percentage of failed marriages within the diasporans here. Is there? I can Google it out for you. Is
you
there on
know,
the internet? It will show you the percentage of failed marriages of people, black people in diaspora, and successful marriages in the all this information are out there for us to see. It's only when you dig deeper that you get that they're all there for
in
us.
all the
You
failed
can check them.
marriages, African
Yeah.
failed marriages in the diaspora is not always
Yeah.
caused
There
by
are there are
black.
higher percentage of failed marriages here in the diaspora among. So what they are saying, I'm not the one that said it. This is a release. They're saying that almost 2 out of 3 marriages of black people, of Africans that married here, that they will disintegrate within the first 4 years or 5 years of their marriage. They will not be together again. And by the time they're 10 years, they're no longer together. So the percentage of these failed marriages are high, and it's still going high due to pressure. When they come here, they face with pressure. They face
Dr.
with
Chido,
blame.
should I give you an
Yeah.
example? There are many
Yeah,
factors
go on.
that make African marriages fail in the diaspora. Now let me tell you one of the factors.
Okay.
I'll give an example. There are let me use Nigerian men because Nigerian men seem to be the ones that
Okay.
thoroughly are in this spectrum of men I'm trying to describe, which is they probably had a certain level of influence or affluence or economically a little more empowered when they were back home. They emigrate.
Okay.
When they come here, they don't have the qualification, or even if they have the qualification, they cannot seem to be able to find a job that suits what they think their caliber of persons are. Then you know what
Okay.
they do? They refuse to do any kind of work that doesn't suit their person. Then
Okay.
they have a strategy. The strategy is that they're going to go and marry a woman because they know that an African woman, according to what is obtainable in most African cultures, is that she will do as she is told by her husband. So they go and marry this woman and they bring her here. Mind you, they don't want to do any of these jobs that are tend to be, low skilled, not so, flamboyant kind of jobs. But they want this woman to come here and do those kind of jobs. If they do any better, they force her to They encourage her to go get a training or certification in a job such as nursing, or get certification in care jobs, anything else. And then they want to live the sort of standard of life that they lived back home, and leaving the brunt of the work for the woman. She is there breeding children. She is there keeping the home. She's there cooking and cleaning for most sort of men, like I have described. Not all men. They are very, and then she goes out there, she does 8, 10 hours shift, sometimes even 12. And then after a while, this woman wakes up and then realizes this is not the life. Because, of course, like someone said earlier on in the conversation,
Okay.
that even if she was
Okay.
blind, even if she was naive, even if she was ignorant, a time will come when she sees all these things other women are experiencing and talking about. And then she realizes that she has not been in a marriage, but in a slave and master relationship.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then she says no more. And when she says no more, she becomes the thing that you've described, all of these women who come here and open their eyes,
Mm.
and then the reason you're blaming them for the marriage not working, but it is from the very beginning, the intentions of the reasons why these men go and marry these people is the reason why the marriage is failing in the first
Okay. I think we get, I'm not, no one is blaming anyone. We're only talking about, so you are accepting there's actually reasons why they fail. So I'm right to say there are failed marriages because you're giving me one more reason why they're failing. So I'm giving you other reasons why there are failed marriages. So there is a high level of failed marriages in Europe among Black people. There are pressure. They have pressure. The society presents pressure. You see a man and a woman who are in love from Nigeria. When they come here, they have to work all day. Sometimes they don't see each other. And then it starts to tear them apart. It starts to tear the relationship apart. After a while, that bond they have is no longer there because they have to run the children's stuff. They have to do this. Why in Nigeria it's even easier to have a gate man, to have a tides runner, to have all these things. It doesn't really cost a lot. But when you're here, the parents is more committed, they're more stressed, and this stress results to failed marriages. So the video is trying to say to them, if you leave your wife in Nigeria, the tendency is that your marriage will last longer than when you bring them over here, because there would be new emerging challenges that were not there before, pressure that are all going to crop up, that are going to accumulate to a point where, everybody will start having, it does happen. Next minute, the woman don't want to give the man sex, or, the woman is complaining, I'm tired, and this. And this is a man in Nigeria. For instance, sex is like a touch, it's like you have to give a man sex. It's like if a man says sex, yeah, you give him sex. But here, the man goes to work, you do 12 hours, he come back from work, you're tired, and the man wants sex. Maybe you don't, you're tired. So all that, so once the sex is cut off, once that bond they used to have, they used to share, because back in Nigeria, they didn't have a whole lot of stress to deal with. The life there is pretty easy, but when they come here, you're going to face a whole new challenges. So it does contribute to,
Of course.
significant
Of course.
failed marriages here.
Of course, I
So
agree
that's
with
what
you
we're,
on that. Yeah.
so that's what we're talking about, to look at. We're not saying, there's a flip side to it as well. I do agree with all you people that, obviously there are men who also take advantage, but it doesn't put me in a position where I'm trying to undermine women. Actually, I have a daughter. Do you understand what I mean? I want my daughter to be empowered, and my daughter, she understands her rights even at age 11, because I don't want no man to take advantage of her. So I have to teach her that. But at the same time, it doesn't stop us from highlighting these issues. If this is not a hot topic, all of us won't be here today. So this topic have brought us here. That means it's really hot. So whoever had created the reason why we're here, or the topic, there's a reason why he's done it, because he want the topic to be debated. So when people hear it, like your followers, Susan, when they hear this, they're going to be able to at least judge, and make the right decision. But we're not doing it because we're not saying that because we want women to, we feel like women don't have powers. Like my friend, the hip hop guy, said, He said that back in the days,
His name
women.
is, he's called Starman, not iPop guy.
Oh, Starman. Sorry for that. Starman highlighted the fact that our women back in the days used to be economically relevant. If a woman is economically relevant, that means she's running things. She's the one in control. So we've never undermined women, and we Igbos by nature are people who actually uplift women. So I am sympathetic to those women that actually come over here, because I know that it's not because they want to come over. It's not because they want to just a man that had contacted them from England, they don't know him before, just through internet. Oh, I'm going to marry you, I'm going to marry you. Your father goes there, your mother goes there, they pay the dowry, they do this, and then you come, and the man appears. It's not even the man that you want. But, you're thinking about this is a getaway for me to take care of my family, so you're going to go. So once you go there, once you get over here, after some time, the man starts to irritate you. It's a man that you've lived with. He snores. Then after a while, you start to realize that the man is snoring. The snoring becomes an issue. Do you
That doesn't
understand
have
what I
to.
mean?
Dr. Chido, that one doesn't have to do any. Doesn't have anything to do with whether because she came
No,
from.
when the woman is in love,
Typical
she
in every
accepts
marriage.
snoring.
It's typical when things are going south that the snore that once upon a time felt like sounded like music is now become like a
Thank you.
torture.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen, Chido.
A rhythm.
Listen, one of the things it make as well the relationship, the marriage more successful back home. It is because back home the woman will be ostracized by the community. She'll be ostracized by her only family, by her husband family. If she complains, if she make any disagreement, if she says she's not happy, if she's walk out on the relationship, because over there he can beat her up, and the family will say, "Oh, forgive him, it's fine." While if he beats her up, and she go and tell anyone, or anyone sees, he goes to prison. So that is the main difference. It's not successful. You need to understand there is not success on absolutely nothing or no one when you are oppressed. There is none. Do you understand? That's not successful. History, that's not successful at all. If we stay in a relationship, because if you leave that relationship, everyone is going to gang up on you. Everyone will point finger at you. You'll be the wrong one, and then you stay. That's not successful. You are there because you're oppressed. You are there because you have no escape. You are there because there is no way to go. So this is not successful.
Do we agree that
It has longevity, but it doesn't have success.
do we agree that
It's no
stress
happiness.
can tear a
Yeah,
relationship?
so
Of
it
course.
doesn't make sense. Do you understand? Do you want
It
a woman
depends
to
on
stay
what.
with you for 20 years because she's fear you? You want a woman to stay with you because she's fear the church she's go, because she's fear her neighborhood, because she's fear her
No.
family, or because she's fear her in-laws, then she stays with you. That's not success, my brother. That's not success. Do you understand? So we need to start to understand that. It doesn't make sense what you are saying. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. The video is very derogatory towards woman. I say that to you. Everyone is saw it. It knows it is. Because you could make that video and put all your point of views in the end and say, that's not how I see. I'm a father of a girl as well. I will empower my daughter. I want my daughter to do this, to do that. I don't think that is happening in all the families. I don't think that is what happened 100% inside Nigeria. No, you didn't say that. Knowing that video, it's very powerful. Word has power. Once we spoke,
Yeah, but
once
most
we
women will
say,
not accept it,
so
though.
you
Most
said
most
that.
women would not accept it.
You
I
put that
expect you as
video
a
out
woman not
there.
to accept it.
Listen,
And
I'm
that's why it
talking.
becomes
Listen, I'm
controversial.
talking.
If
That's
you accepted
respect.
it,
That's respect. You need to wait for me to finish for you to talk. I wait for you to finish, so then I talk.
okay,
That's
go
respect.
on.
Do you understand?
Go on, Elder.
Respect go both ways. I respect you, respect me. That's the way. So,
Go on, Elder. Go on.
so that is the way. You understand? You should make the video and be fair. Now, let me, if I make a video and I put out there, say, oh, Nigerian men are rubbish, Nigerian men, it doesn't respect women, Nigerian men play around, Nigerian men are unfaithful. if I also say that Nigerian bring women here to work hard for them, and they let them, they abandon their kids, they don't look after their kids. How do you think that you'll set? Do you understand? That's not fair. I will never do that. You know why? Because I respect my brothers. I have respect for my brothers. Do you understand? But you went out there, you make a video where you didn't have respect for us, even though you are father to a girl, even though you are son of a woman. Do you understand? In order for all of you guys being out there was a woman, he did that. There was a woman who nourished you, he carries you for 9 months, he breastfeeds you, he look after you, he brought you to this world. And then you come and make a video like that, not taking consideration. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No
You take
regards
it
for
too deep.
woman. But now you are thinking, oh, hang on a minute. I did a big mistake. I put a video out there where I didn't, in the end, make my view saying, that's not exactly what I'm saying about all the women. I say this will happen in some case. It may happen in different cases. It happened to women as well. Women brought her men here and they're going to do the same. You didn't do
You
that.
can still do
Why
that
not?
version. I can still
Why
do that
not?
version. Yeah, I
Do you
can do that
understand?
one. It's not
Why
a problem.
not?
The podcast, the movie, you have to watch this side and watch that side as well. You don't you tend to forget this is movie.
We've
Elder,
got
you're looking at this like it's
conversation.
all movie, Elder. You're watching movie, you like it. You need the second part. I will do it. I'll do
Are
the
you going to
woman
do the
side.
second
Are you
part?
even gonna like it
The
more?
problem
Trust
with
me.
your
The
part
second part.
two, Dr. Chido, the
Yeah,
problem
the
with
part
your
two
part
is coming.
two is that
Yeah.
it's not showing on Netflix or a television station where people are expecting to get a part two. When you send that out on its own, there are people who have taken that information and they've gone with it. They might not have the opportunity to see what the sequel to that is going to be. And
The
they've
damage
and
is
you'll
already
be
done.
shocked how many relationships are going to be
I
bastardized.
have a particular
The damage
following.
is already
I have a
done.
particular
Susan, the
following.
damage is already
Yeah.
The
done.
damage is already
Please, the
done.
damage is already done. There is
No,
no
the
way
same
of
following
going
will
back.
still see it.
It's like if I accuse you, let's see, fake news, how fake news work. Do you understand? You accuse a man of being a pedophile. And then you make a second video, say, oh no, I was mistake. It looks like him, but it's not him. Millions of people take that name and that face. The majority of those people, do you know the percentage of people who go back to watch a second video? Maybe only 9 or 8% to see, oh, actually it was not him. The damage is out there, it's already done. It's too late. It's like
No,
what? Everything we say here today,
the
everything I
second
say
video
here
would be
today, everything you are saying here today, Susan and the brother saying here today, everything you are saying here today is out there. We cannot take back anymore. Do you
okay.
understand?
So the second video, it will be. I'll tell you what the second video will be.
No, I don't want to know.
No,
I
excuse
don't
me.
want
I'll
to
tell you
know.
what it's gonna
Listen,
be.
it's Sunday. We have been here for
The
more than
second
2
video will
hours.
be now
I have many things to
the
Oh
do.
my
men.
God, we have to end this
My
broadcast
week
today.
ahead is very busy
Susan,
week
I know
ahead.
you.
I
Don't
have
worry,
a
you like
woman
the
to
second
leave.
one. You're gonna
I need
like
to
it. Don't worry.
organize my week.
Dr.
You're
Chido,
gonna like
that
it.
video
Thank
allowed me
you.
to make an opinion of who you are. And I thought of you differently before. That's to tell you how powerful that video is. Even
Exactly.
though I had a
Exactly.
chance to chat with you, I've chatted with you before the video and
Yeah.
after the video, but there is a part of me that is weary and
Yeah.
worried about you.
Because you're not
Exactly.
looking at it as you're looking at it from
Exactly.
a personal point of view.
Because it was a
It's a
personal
movie.
video you
I'm
made. You
sorry.
didn't
That
do
was
a
the point of
professional.
view.
The guy that acted Jesus Christ, Robert
That is the
Powell, in
point of
Nigeria, they
view.
actually believe he's Jesus Christ. The guy that
Excuse me?
acted Jesus Christ, Robert Powell.
What's he
So
going
look
with?
at it from because you know me. Yeah, because you know
Please,
me.
I
That's why
want
it's like that.
to.
If you don't
I
know
want
me,
to
you won't have
say.
opinion like that. Yeah.
Dr. Chido, the truth
Yes, ma'am.
is you've become defensive on this broadcast because you
No,
had
but
a
it's true
train
that
of thought.
it's a
Suddenly you
movie.
understood.
Elder told me already. She warned me. I know what I was seeing, getting. Elder warned me. She told me she's going to tear me. I say, yeah, tear me. Don't worry. I love to be torn apart. I love to be torn apart by beautiful ladies. Look at people who are tearing me apart. Just look at them. Look at Susan. Look
Dr.
at Elder.
Chido,
You know, just I'm
from the
happy. Tear me
beginning,
apart.
from the very beginning, you became defensive. You quickly put a caveat from when you started talking. I knew it because you wouldn't do that if you had understood at the time you were making the video the impact it was going to have. So now it's you're now on a defense,
How long did
Defensive
it take us?
mode.
How long did it take us to get you to do a podcast with us, Susan? We've been waiting forever. So this video was what made you to come here today. Susan, listen, at the hub, at the Vision Hub, which you're a member as well, we've been asking you for months. You're there working with Nigerian politicians, working with
Now he's blaming you.
working with what they call the Dido, working with Onyeko Weno, working with big people, and then you forgot we are there. So this video was the reason why you got angry. So I'll be doing angry videos.
You are blaming her for your video.
We're going to be coming. Yeah.
I want to tell Susan, there's so many comments that Starman made concerning the church and the rest of them. I think the interview I had with you, I don't know, with your permission, I should refer him.
Of course. It's in the public space.
Yes. Starman, go back and listen to that interview, and you will understand that truth does not sink, no matter how long it takes, so that you will know. When you get that information, you will also use it to talk to people, because what you have in our denominations are not that is not Christianity. It's not. There's difference between religion and spirituality. These two things are not the same. And if you mistake spirituality or religion for spirituality, then you have conflict, thinking that it's the same spirituality that is fighting against our culture. Well, it's good you listen to those things and make your judgment by yourself, and that will be better, I think, so that you have a better clue of what happened. Anyway, I want to leave now. And
one thing is for sure, Reverend, Starman is not a Christian. He's not a Muslim. He doesn't like Christians. He doesn't like Christianity. He doesn't hate Christians. He doesn't like Christianity. He doesn't like Islam. He doesn't like any religion. So that's where he stands.
Reverend.
He's an African.
My sister and my brothers, I need to go.
Yes.
Nice to see you, Starman. Nice to see you, Pastor. I'm so happy to have you guys here. Really, really nice. I'm hoping I will meet again, yeah?
I hope so.
All right. So let's call it a night and reconvene.
Susan, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
On a different day.
Starman,
you and I have to reschedule for Starman. What do you say? Let's do next
Starman, I'd like to get your contact.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to
you. Okay. If that's okay, please let Susan pass me your contact. I like the way you sound. I think you and I, we can get along, Starman. Yeah, we can get along very well. Yeah, very, very well. We get along. I have to strategize my way with Susan. I have to go back to the table. I go back to the table. I have to go and strategize, because now she's taking me back. She relegated me. She put me her black book in her list. Robert Powell again after Jesus Christ. Nigerians adopted him as Jesus Christ. I'm just an actor now in that video. So treat me like an actor. So this one now is Chido. This one talking now is Chido. You understand? That Chido is this one now.
Dr. Chido, no worries.
Yeah, I like your hair, Susan. I love this, your hair.
I love you too. Take care.
Wow. How did you do it?
What?
Is that how I love. You're too creative, Susan. You're one of the most creative people I've seen. You're really, really creative.
Thank you. What did you say you like?
Is it scarf?
Yeah, my scarf. Yeah, I'm an African woman. What do you expect?
Is that like the Ghana? Is that like the Ghana scarf? Ghana?
No, this is just my traditional wrapper.
Oh, I love it. It looks nice.
In tie, and I just put it on in a hurry, and it's come out looking good. And I'm not the best hair artist, but we get around.
It's lovely.
All right, thank you, Dr. Chido, for trying to make me feel good.
Come on now, Susan. You're my own person now. For how many years?
Person any day.
I mean, come on now. I always say, people, don't judge me. The thing is this: people, when they hear me, they want to hate me, but when they see me, they will like me. It's always a good factor. It's good to use it. They say, as soon as they see us, this person is a cool guy, no problem.
Dr. Chido is a cool guy. He's a cool guy. It's just he went off the script.
Forgive me, please. Forgive me. You people finish me today. No, it's small finish. Elder warned me in advance. She said she will finish me. She will finish me.
Everybody
I
has
said,
their moments.
Dr. Chido, good night.
uh,
I'll chat to you on the other end.
Susie baby, thank you so much. And star man, love man.
Starman Alpha.
Big love for you.
He's
Big
an
love,
alpha
big
male.
love,
Yeah,
big love,
Susan,
big
send him
love.
my number and send me his own.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, yeah.
I'll do
Don't
that.
worry, we'll connect. Star man, I'll
You and I,
connect with you, man.
you and I should reconvene in on a weekday for our regular, usual conversations. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Dr.
Just
Chido,
give me
catch
heads up.
you. Yeah, I think on a weekday will be possible because I have an engagement next Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
Yes. So sorry, we didn't plan this as we should have, but it's fine.
Yeah, it was still good. It was still interesting.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining. It's become, I totally forgot we're still live when we're just going on. Can you imagine that? Oh, it's been such a pleasure. I enjoyed the conversation, and it was an opportunity, at least for Dr. Chido to retract some of the things the way he said it, which is a good thing. This has been a long broadcast, but we'll catch up again. I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, Starman. Are
Okay.
you up for it? We'll go
Yeah.
back to our regular, you know, educative Africanism, Afrocentric, Pan
Yeah.
African subjects.
Yeah.
All right.
Wednesday, Thursday should be fine. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, guys, catch up with us again. If you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to our channels, please do so on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and put the notification bell so that when we do schedule a broadcast, you will be the first to know. Starman will catch up next week. All right.
All
Have a
right.
good day or night.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it from me today. It's been a marathon one, and I like it. I think we'll be doing this more often. You know, take a day and do a lot more topics with a lot more guests. And I'm seeing my family's coming back. Washington Stanley, I'm so happy to see you here again. Yes, we're literally back every week. We're gonna try, whether it's a weekday or weekend, we're gonna be here talking salient discussions, topics. All right. So like, follow, subscribe, and push the bell so that you know when we are live. I love you all and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Remember, treat your woman, treat your wife as you would your mother and your daughter. Okay, so that we have a better society and a better life in the end. When you empower a woman, you empower a whole society. That's the truth. Have a good night. Bye bye.